Alright, and hello everyone, it is me, Jay Burns, and in this tutorial, I'm going to be showing you how to make this bracelet right here. This bracelet is my own original design, and it is called the Draw the Line bracelet. And yeah, I'm going to be showing you how to make this bracelet here on the monster tail, or just on any 4 pins on pretty much any loom. So you could even make this on a regular loom, as long as there's space for this bracelet to grow and move out of the way while you're looming. So here's just some other examples. Also, if you like making bracelets, like hook-only bracelets, then I do have a tutorial for this bracelet that you can make it with just a hook. And the link to that tutorial will be in the description. But yeah. So anyway, to make this bracelet, you're going to need a monster tail, or just 4 pins on pretty much any loom, so you could even use a finger loom if you have one. You're going to need a hook, but if you're using a, well actually, even if you're using a finger loom, but you're going to need a hook. Any hook should work. You're also going to need a clip. Any clip that's used for making rubber band bracelets should work. I'm using a C-clip. And you will also need rubber bands. And there are 2 groups. I'll explain what they both are. The A group, the A rubber bands, they are going to be the rubber bands that make up the bracelet, so like the fishtail here, which is blue in this example. The B rubber bands are going to be the line rubber bands, and they are these rubber bands that, these little stripes of bands that are alternating sides. And they are green and purple in this example. And yeah, so to figure out about how many bands you're going to need, just go down to the description. You will need to know how many rubber bands you need to make yourself a fishtail to help you figure everything else out, like the B color bands. But yeah, just use the pause button so you can get your supplies, and we're gonna go ahead and get started. Okay, so you're going to want to have your hook nearby, and you're also going to want to have your monster tail with the red dot here on the left. And also, by the way, the instructions in this tutorial are mainly based on like monster tails, so yeah. But anyway, everyone with a monster tail needs to have the red dot here on the left. And everyone who doesn't have a monster tail, you're still going to want to have a pin that will act like the red dot. So if you have a finger loom, maybe the pin that has the little logo on there, you could use that, but everyone needs to have a pin that kind of represents the red dot. Mark it with a rubber band if you need to. But anyway, we're going to have the red dot on the left, and we're going to start by getting 3 A color rubber bands, which will be our fishtail bands. And we're going to take one of them, and we're going to place them going across these 2 middle pins, so this top and this bottom middle pin here. And when we place this A color band going across, we're going to twist it so that we get this little X shape here in the middle. And now what we've just placed is our cap band. And now what we're going to do is we're going to place the other 2 A color rubber bands going across the same 2 pins. But we're not going to twist them, we're just going to place them like regular rubber bands. Alright, now what we're going to do is we're going to loom the bottom rubber band, which is our cap band. And to do that, we're just going to take our hook, grab this bottom band, which is the cap band, pull it up and over the pins, and do the same thing on the other side. Grab the bottom rubber band, which is the cap band, pull it up and over the pin. Once you finish looming, make sure the red dot is back on the left. And now what we're going to do is we're going to get 3 of our B color rubber bands, which are our line rubber bands. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to place these 3 B color bands going across this top left, or this top middle pin and this top left pin. But if you're right-handed, like when you go to Loom, you're going to want to place these 3 B color bands going across the top middle pin and the top right pin. But just make sure the B color bands are on this top middle pin and the bracelet will be made correctly. So anyway, make sure you have your 3 B color bands on there. Now what we're going to do is we're going to get another A color rubber band and we're going to place it going across our loom, the same 2 middle pins as the other A color bands. And what we're going to do is we're going to continue the fishtail stitch, just grabbing the bottom rubber band with our hook and pulling it up and over. But now, here on the other side of the monster tail, we have these B color bands in the way. So what we do is we just kind of pull these bands back. So I like to use this other pin here to pull the B color bands back. Then grab the bottom rubber band there, the bottom A color band, and pull it up and over. And be careful, make sure that these B color bands that were on this middle pin stay on there. And stuff can get a little bit messy, but yeah. Make sure the red dot is back on the left side, and we're going to do this exact same thing 4 more times. So get 4 more A color rubber bands. And we're going to do the same thing again. We're going to get an A color rubber band, place it going across the same 2 middle pins, the top and bottom middle pin. And then do the fishtail stitch. Just grab that bottom rubber band with your hook, pull it up and over. Then on the other side, you might not really need to do this, but you might not need to pull back these B color bands. Grab the bottom A color band and loom. Now you might not need to do that this time, but it's still a good idea so you don't accidentally pick one of them up and loom them. Yeah. So once you've loomed the bottom A color band on both sides, make sure the red dot is back on the left. And now we're going to do this 3 more times. So I'll explain it one more time. You place an A color rubber band going across these same 2 middle pins. Grab the bottom rubber band here on this side and pull it up and over. Then on the other side. You might not need to do this time, but go ahead and just pull back those B color bands. Grab the bottom A color band and loom it like normal. And now we're just going to do this 2 more times. So go ahead and do that on your own. And then we'll go ahead and continue. Use the pause button if you need to. Right. Make sure that red dot or red dot pin is on the left again. It's really quick and easy to do that step. And now what we're going to do, once we've added those other A color bands, now what we're going to do is we're going to get 3 more B color rubber bands. So 3 more line rubber bands. Try and do a little pattern here. So now we're going to get 3 more B color rubber bands, line rubber bands, and what we're going to do with them is we're going to place them going across this bottom middle pin and either the bottom left pin or the bottom right pin. If you're left-handed, you're going to want to put these B color bands going out to the right. So if you hold your hook with your left hand, you're going to want these bands going out to the right. And if you're right-handed, you'll place the 3 B color bands going out to the left. It's just so looming is easier. Or yeah, just so the bands aren't like in the way. But anyway, now we have these new B color bands here. And what we're going to do now is we're going to get 2 more A color rubber bands. So we're going to take one of these A color rubber bands and place it And we're going to do pretty much the same thing we've already been doing. We're going to, but except now we're going to be doing it on both sides of our monster tail. So you'll need to pull back these B color bands, grab the bottom A color band that's on that middle pin, pull it up and over. Then you'll do the same thing on the other side. And make sure the red pin, or the red dot, is on the left again. Now, what we're going to do is we're actually going to take these B color bands here, these older ones that we placed before that are here on these top pins. What we're going to do before we place this next A color band is we are going to just take our hook, just grab the B color bands that are here on these top pins, and then just pull them off and into the center of the monster tail. So with the rest of the fishtail, like that. Then we're going to take this other A color band and place it. And now we're going to do pretty much the same thing, except now we don't have these B color bands on the top pins, but instead here on the bottom. So you still need to pull back the B color bands, grab the bottom A color band there, and loom it up and over. Then on the other side of the monster tail, you're just going to loom like regular, there's nothing there, so just grab the bottom A color band with your hook and pull it up and over the pins. Then make sure the red dot's back on the left. Alright, now what we're going to do is we're going to get 3 more. So this time we're going to get 3 more A color rubber bands, and we're going to add them the same way we've added the A color bands when we had these B color bands. We're just going to take one of the A color bands and place it like normal. Then we just pull back these B color bands that are in the way, grab the very bottom A color rubber band, and loom it up and over. And then on the other side there's really nothing there, so you just grab the bottom A color band and loom it up and over. And now you'll just do this 2 more times. So just use the pause button if you need to. There we go. Once you've added those bands there, those 2 A color, or the other 2 A color bands, now what we're going to do is we're going to get 3 more B color rubber bands again. So we're going to get 3 more B color rubber bands again. And I'm actually going to go ahead and actually start explaining the pattern for this bracelet. So the pattern actually started when we added these 3 B color bands that are on the bottom pins. But I'm going to go ahead and start explaining the pattern now. So the pattern for making this bracelet is you're going to start by getting 3 B color bands and placing them going across the 2 top pins, and make sure they're going across, and make sure they're at least on this middle pin here. So the pattern for this bracelet is very simple, or at least I hope it is. But we're going to place these 3 B color bands here on these 2 top pins. Could be going across the left or to the right, doesn't matter. Then you're going to get 2 B color rubber band, or 2 A color rubber bands, fishtail bands, and we're going to take one of them and place it like normal. Then what we're going to do is we're going to just make sure we loom the bottom A color rubber bands, and to do that we'll need to pull back these 3 B color bands, then grab the bottom A color band and loom it. pin, make sure the red dot's back on the left. And before we add the second A color rubber band, what we're going to do is we're going to take these older B color bands, so now they're on the bottom, and we're going to use our hook to pull them off of our loom and move them into the middle with the rest of the rubber bands for the bracelet. So move them into the middle like this. Then we're going to take the next A color band, place it, and continue our fishtail stitch, grabbing the bottom band, pulling it up and over, and on the other side, we pull back these B color bands that are in the way, grab the bottom band, pull it over. Now we're going to do this exact same thing 3 more times, except we don't have those other B color bands in the way. So we're going to get 3 more A color rubber bands. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to take an A color band, place it going across these 2 middle pins, take our hook and loom the bottom A color band on both sides. And if you need to pull back these B color bands, go ahead and do that. Now we're going to do it 2 more times. Get another A color band, place it going across these 2 middle pins, loom the bottom A color band on both sides. Then 1 more time, we're going to get another A color band, place it going across these 2 middle pins, and loom the bottom A color band on both sides again. And now the pattern starts over. So now we're going to get 3 more B color rubber bands again. And since we have these B color rubber bands from before, they're on the top pins, we're going to place these 3 new B color bands on 2 bottom pins like this. So now we're going to do pretty much the same thing we did before, except now we have these B color bands on the bottom pins. So I'll go through and show you the pattern for making this bracelet 1 more time, and then you'll just go ahead and continue making the bracelet on your own, and I'll show you how you close the bracelet off. So, pattern for making this bracelet is, so you place your 3 new B color bands on the opposite side of the older B color bands. So the older ones were here on the top. Now we're going to place 3 new ones on the bottom now, and then next time we'll place them on the top. Anyway, after you've placed your 3 new B color bands, you're going to get 2 A color rubber bands, which are for your fishtail. You're going to take one of them and place them going across these 2 middle pins, the top and the bottom. Then we're going to loom the bottom A color rubber band on both sides, and to do that you're going to need to pull back these B color bands, then grab the bottom A color band and loom it up and over. Then you'll do the same on the other side. Pull back the B color bands, then loom the bottom A color band. And once you've done that, before you add the second A color rubber band, what you're going to do is the older 3 B color bands, so the older ones from before, which are on top this time. So we just added these on the bottom. The older ones are on top. We're just going to grab them with our hook, pull them off of the pins on our loom, and move it into the center space with all these other bands. Then we're going to take this next A color band and place it going across these 2 middle pins, same 2 as all the other A color bands, and we're just going to do the fishtail stitch again. So we're going to get our hook, we'll need to pull back these B color bands, then grab the bottom A color rubber band, pull it up and over the pins. Do the same thing on the other side, but there aren't any B color bands this time. Just grab the bottom band, pull it up and over. Now we're going to do the same thing 3 more times with 3 more A color rubber bands. So you take an 8-color band, place it across the same 2 middle pins, take your hook, and loom the bottom A-color band on both sides. And you may need to pull back B-color bands so you don't loom them on accident. Then again, get another A-color rubber band, place it going across these 2 middle pins. Use your hook to grab the bottom A-color rubber band and loom it up and over the pins. You'll do the same thing on the other side. Grab the bottom A-color band, loom it up and over. And then one last time, you'll take another A-color band, place it going across, same 2 pins, and loom the A-color bands the same way you've been doing it this entire time. And now the pattern starts over. So then you get 3 more B-color bands, and you do that whole little process all over again. So now what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and continue making the bracelet on your own. And if you're still not sure of how you make the bracelet, just go back a few minutes in the tutorial where I explain the pattern for the bracelet, which I think it was at 16 minutes. I'll put it down in the description where you need to go back if you need to. But what we're going to do now is I'm going to show you how you close off the bracelet. So use the pause button if you need to. And yeah, so when you get to the end of your bracelet, which I haven't, obviously this is way too short, what you're going to do is you need to be at the end of one of the lines. So you've already added the 3 other A-color bands you need to, after you've added your new B-color bands, then you add your 3 A-color bands for the fishtail. You need to be at that point there. What we're going to do is, instead of starting the pattern over and getting 3 more B-color bands, what we're going to do is we're going to get just the 2 A-color bands. We're going to take one of them, place it going across those 2 middle pins, use our hook, grab the bottom band, pull it up and over, so the bottom A-color band, and the same on the other side. Grab the bottom A-color band, pull it up and over the pin. Then, these B-color rubber bands that are here on our loom, we're going to use our hook to pull them off of our loom and into the center with all the other bands. And then we're just going to take one more A-color rubber band, which is part of our fishtail. We're going to place it going across the loom, and we're going to loom both of the bottom A-color rubber bands on both pins. So now you should have 1 rubber band on these 2 middle pins. So here on the other side, you grab the bottom band, pull it up and over. Then you do the same thing again, grab the bottom band, pull it up and over. And make sure you do this on both of the middle pins. And once you've done that, now we need to close off the bracelet so we can put our clip on. So have your clip nearby now. What we're going to do is we're going to take this rubber band and put it all on one pin. So just take your hook and grab one side of the rubber band and take it off of the pin it's on, but keep it on your hook. Then take this end of the rubber band that's on your hook to the other end on the other pin. So I'll show you again. Take it off and bring it over to the other end of the rubber band on the other pin. So now all the rubber bands that are on your loom are on just one middle pin. Then you can take your clip and attach it to all these rubber bands, which there's only one, to the rubber bands that are on this middle pin here. And if you need to, you can use your hook to stretch the bands out to another pin so it's easier. Alright, and once your clip is on there, you can take the rubber bands off of your loom. Now you don't need your loom or your hook anymore. And then you just take your clip and attach it to the other end of the bracelet, which is your cap band that you placed first. And it's the circular rubber band here on the other end. Sometimes it looks split up like this. Yeah, you're going to take your clip and attach it to your cap band. And once your clip is on both your cap band and this last band in your bracelet, you can put your bracelet on and bam, so now you have your bracelet. So, I guess now it's time for the outro. So, I would like to thank you for watching my tutorial. Hopefully it showed you how to make the draw the line bracelet on the monster tail or on 4 pins successfully. Hopefully now you have your bracelet, and if you aren't having much success with this method of making the bracelet, I do have a hook only tutorial, and maybe the instructions there are a little bit better, or it's easier for you to make the bracelet. But anyway, yeah, that's actually pretty much all I have to say for this tutorial, other than thanks for watching, and bye!